it's Hailey, and today I'm going to be doing a Q&A. So I haven't done one of these in a little bit. Like, I've been doing them pretty frequently on Instagram, just asking the questions on Instagram and answering them in my stories. So you guys can follow me there if you like to have frequent Q&As. So my Instagram is just at Hailey in Bookland. It's also linked down below for you guys. I do like to do these like pretty regularly on my channel. I enjoy doing them. I like asking you guys questions. And today I actually decided to have the questions on YouTube. So I asked for questions in the community tab and you guys asked them. Usually I'll go to Instagram, but since I have been doing a lot of Q&As in my stories, I felt like it would be fun to just ask you guys for questions right on YouTube. So there have been like a lot of changes in my life recently, and there are going to be even more. So I felt like it seemed like an appropriate time to do a Q&A, but I have been talking for a very long time, and this is just like a casual whatever sort of thing. So let's just get into the questions. So question number one, I feel like is a good one to start with because it just kind of covers everything, and that is, how are you, like, really? I'm hoping your mental health is okay at the moment. By the way, I love your videos. They're what I watch when I'm having a not great mental health day. Thank you very much. First of all, I'm glad that they can help you out. Second of all, I have been so up and down lately. Like, there has just been so much going on that I have been up, and then like the downs are really, really low. As you guys know, in the latter half of 2020, I was really struggling with my anxiety and depression, and it definitely has kind of like come back with a vengeance. But today is the first day in a while that I feel more like myself, like I feel the most like myself. There just has been so much going on that has been really overwhelming. It's a lot of change. I'm away from my family. It can be really isolating. Like, there's just a lot that I need to adjust to and need to learn to work around. But today I finally feel the most optimistic that I have felt in a while, because I have felt very bleak about things and just haven't really been able to get myself out of the rut that I've been in. So the fact that I'm starting to feel like I have some hope is like life-changing for me right now. I just feel more motivated. I feel like there is hope, honestly. That's really the only word that it can come down to for the future. Like, I have a ways to go still. There's definitely still going to be some downs, but I'm happy that there are some ups as well. But I'm learning to live in a new place. I'm learning to try and like manage a lot of things that I have going on. So it's definitely a journey, and it's not going to be linear, but I am starting to like get my footing a little bit, I guess. So it's not the best in my mental health, but it's getting there, and I feel like eventually I will be doing better than I have been doing recently. Like, earlier this week, I honestly tried to film this video and I couldn't even get through the whole video. I filmed another video and I was like, I just felt like crying the entire time. Like, I just was not in a good space. But I've actually filmed a couple of videos today that I wasn't really expecting to film anything, just because I feel so much better about everything. So yeah, we are off to a very lengthy answer for a start, so sorry about that. Question number two, what is your most controversial book opinion? I think my most controversial book opinion might be the fact that I don't really like series. I don't like longer series, and I don't really like longer books. I am someone who gets very bored very easily, and I want to move on to the next thing. I would much rather read a standalone than a series. I would rather meet new characters, have a new world to get lost in, than continue with a series. And there are obviously some that I read, there's some that I really love, but for the most part, I tend to gravitate more towards standalones than series, and I will put off sequels for forever, as you guys probably know by now. Question number three, how has moving impacted your French so far? Future learning updates, maybe. So I'm still trying. It's definitely something, like, I've never learned another language. I almost failed French class when I was in high school because I had really bad teachers when I was in grade school. So it's definitely, once again, a journey to try and learn things. I feel like I'm picking up a little bit, like, here and there, and by context I can kind of figure out what people are saying, and by the few words that I do know I can kind of piece together what people are saying. But it's definitely like not as great as I would like it to be. I have been using Babbel every day and working on that every day. I like that because like I can speak and it will like judge my speaking as well, and it has more like conversational things, which is really what I'm looking for. I need the conversational side of things. So I know that it's going to take time, and being immersed in it is going to be the best way. There is English where I live, but there's also like not as much as other regions. We definitely are in a more French area, so it's something that I'm going to have to deal with. I totally forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video though, but in my favorites of the year so far, which I don't know if it will be going up before or after this video, but I mentioned a books that I want to read soon video that I was going to film, but I decided to scrap that and do this Q&A instead, which is why we are here today, because I filmed that video when I was like feeling real low, so it was just not a great video, which is why we're here. I don't know why I just remembered that, but oh well. Top tips for getting your life together and becoming more independent. I feel like this is something that I'm really working on. I am fairly independent. I mean, I have no choice to. Like, I've been doing YouTube on my own for 7 years and doing writing on my own. So like, I just kind of manage myself all the time. But I think that being organized is the biggest thing, and keeping track of what you need to do, but also having goals. So I think if you are trying to transition to be a little bit more independent and have your own like life together, I guess, I think having goals in mind is really great, and further breaking down those goals into steps that you can take to achieve them eventually, I think is a great way to get there. Any recommendations for books that accurately portray mental health struggles without romanticizing them, specifically anxiety? Take care of yourself. Thank you. You take care of yourself as well. I think that a book that does a really great job of that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. I feel like it has a very accurate representation of mental health in general. It does have some anxiety representation in there, but I think that that is one of the most accurate representations that I have read that I personally really reckoned with. So I would recommend that one, but also I feel like that's one that you kind of need to be in the right headspace to read. What are your favorite types of videos to film, both book related and non-book related? So my favorite kinds of videos to film, I love talking about books that I want to read because I find it just like there's so many possibilities. So I love book hauls for that reason. I don't know, I just really love like talking about books in general, but I love filming TBRs and I really love filming book hauls because they're new and exciting books to me and things that I'm really looking forward to reading eventually. I do also love doing recommendations videos, having like a specific topic that I'm recommending stuff for. I love doing those too. Also like my cover comparison, so cover changes and UK versus US, I love doing those videos too. So there's a lot of them, but as far as non-book related videos that I like to do on my second channel, I've been loving doing makeup videos recently, and I know like I want to do more than just that on that channel, but I've been having so much fun with doing them. It is a lot of fun just playing around with makeup. It has been something that's been very relaxing for me recently, so having a video of it is also very fun for me. Any updates you can give us on your writing? No pressure though. So I don't have any news for like Book of Sisters or for Twin Travel Novel, so I'm sorry, but as soon as there are things that I can tell you, I will tell you, but I have nothing for that right now. But I have a deadline for the rom-com that I've been working on, so I have been working on outlining that today, and I feel like once again I had like a major breakthrough and I'm ready to start writing it. So I did kind of start writing it, but then I was like, I don't fully know where it's going to go, but today I kind of figured out the structure and the middle part that I wasn't so sure about. So I have been filming that also, so I'll have a book writing update video coming at some point, hopefully soon, but I'm feeling really, really good about the spot that I'm in with writing, which is super exciting. So very excited to be writing that new rom-com. What was your favorite / least favorite subject in school or university? So I would say that my favorite subject was definitely English and like language arts, as it was called in grade school. I used to love it because in grade school that was when we were able to write stories, and I've always loved telling and writing stories, so I always looked forward to that class because of that. And then in high school I enjoyed English a lot because you were reading a lot, but more so I was always hoping that there was going to be a creative writing aspect to it, but there never, like, I feel like once I got to a certain age there never was. But then I remember there was one assignment when it was creative writing and I was so excited for it when I was in high school. is just very great. But definitely my least favorite subject is math. I am not a numbers person. I panic when I see numbers. I get very overwhelmed, and that is why I just don't do well with math. Like, I was the person, and I feel like so many people would judge me, but I was the person when I was working as a cashier, if I was getting someone's change and they're like, oh, I have 25 cents. I would be like, no, why are you doing this to me? And I would have to like take out the calculator to see what their change would be now. And I remember the one guy was like a math teacher, and he's like, it's this much. And I'm like, yeah, but I just need to double check. It was always very stressful. And yeah, I still hate math. I use my calculator all the time to double check, like even 2 + 2. What book gives you the most nostalgia, and what do you do when you're having a bad day to feel better? What book gives me the most nostalgia? I feel like mostly like little kid books. I mean, there's like Where's Spot that I used to love, but particularly the Magic Treehouse series gives me the most nostalgia because I loved that series so much. It was amazing. Like, I've always loved history, and those taught me so much. I love books that teach me something while I'm reading them, so those definitely are top notch. Definitely tons of nostalgia. And as far as what I do on a bad day when I want to feel better, lately it's been playing around with makeup, but it kind of always changes. Like, usually my main thing is to just kind of take it as easy as I can and take the day one step at a time. Thoughts on season 1 of Netflix's Shadow and Bone, popular and unpopular. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. So I actually really enjoyed season 1. I had a fun time watching it. I watched it with my boyfriend and we both really liked it. So I'm looking forward to season 2. I will say I wished that Nina was in the series more, and they definitely made some changes that left me very confused sometimes, but it's been so long since I've read the books, thankfully, so I wasn't expecting it to go one way. But as I was watching it, I was like, I don't remember if that happened, but I loved seeing the characters come to life. I think it was really well cast, and I just very much enjoyed it overall. Next question is, what have you been reading during this time of transition? I'm in one myself too, and I can't seem to decide what I'm in the mood for. So I definitely do find it's very hard for me to focus on a book, but lately I have been finding a couple that I've really been enjoying. I do find that it's so hard for a book to capture my attention right now because I have a million other things to think about that my mind is just wandering this way and that, but it's really nice when I do find that book. So I think I just kind of have been starting a book and seeing where it goes. So I've been starting a lot of things and getting 10 pages in and then not finishing it. But recently I've read My Contrary Mary, and then currently I'm reading, what is it called? This Poisoned Heart. And those two have definitely captured my attention. So I think my biggest thing is kind of going for authors that I've read before and I've enjoyed their work before, so then I can have a better idea of if it will be something that I'll go through quickly and is going to capture my attention right now, or for some reason I don't really want to try new authors at the moment. I feel like it's kind of a comfort thing, I guess. I don't think that really makes sense, but that's just how I'm feeling. Besides reading and writing and making videos, what are some hobbies you do in your free time? I like to crochet and scrapbook, especially when listening to audiobooks. That sounds like a great time. I used to love scrapbooking. I used to, when I was a kid, my mom used to scrapbook all the time and had so much stuff, and I just thought it was amazing. But I have quite a few hobbies. I used to always think that I didn't really have any. One is I'm really into weightlifting, so I like going to the gym in the morning, and I love to try and improve my strength and just be able to lift heavy things. I find that very enjoyable. And I also love cooking, which you guys probably know by now. I'm a big fan of that, and I enjoy makeup a lot. As you know, if you follow my second channel, I love doing makeup. I love watching makeup videos recently too, which is a new thing for me. But yeah, those I would say are my main hobbies. What is the most exciting thing about moving 10 hours away from where you grew up, and what are some of the challenges too? I would say the most exciting thing is kind of having a fresh start, having a new place to explore. One of the challenges though is my anxiety and how I'm uncomfortable in new spaces and new situations, especially when everything is written in a different language that I can't really read. So there definitely are numerous challenges, but it is also a really exciting time. It's just a big challenge for me because I'm very much out of my comfort zone, and I am someone who for sure loves my comfort zone. So it's very different than what I ever expected I would be doing, but I'm excited to have the opportunity to explore somewhere new and to establish myself somewhere new and kind of have a fresh start. Is the part of Canada you're in now way different than you were culturally? So I feel like this is something that people not from Canada don't understand. So I grew up in Southern Ontario, Windsor specifically, and that is as far south as you can possibly go in Canada, but I now have moved to Montreal, Quebec, and Quebec is the French-speaking region of Canada. So the main difference is that French is the first language, and yes, there are a lot of English-speaking people, but as I said, where I'm living, not so much, so it is something that I need to get used to. So the French is a main difference, but there also are just little things that are so different, and I'm sure every province has this, but like there's little things like they have their own holidays, and there's also like a specific moving day, July 1st, which I never heard of before, and then there's a construction holiday. There's so many different things that Ontario just doesn't have, but there's also probably a lot of things that Ontario does have that they find weird. So it's just like a difference there. The other thing is that when you buy a house, in Ontario, the appliances and everything are sold with the house unless it's like written into the offer and everything. But here, the appliances don't go with the house unless it's written into the offer. So it's more common to not have any appliances when you move into a new house, which is very interesting to me, super weird. Also like so expensive when you're starting out, very expensive up front. But there's definitely just like little things that are different, but I'm learning about those differences, and yeah, I'm sure I'm forgetting about some, like there's definitely some that I'm forgetting about, but those are just like the main ones that come to mind. But it is for sure very different than Ontario, just because everything's in French and most people speak French. So like when we were actually in Montreal, like in the center of Montreal, there was everyone walking by was speaking English, but everywhere else where I've been, because of my boyfriend and like he is French speaking, French is his first language, so his friends and everything, they all speak French first. So everywhere else that I've been, French, everyone is speaking French, and I have encountered a lot of people that don't speak English at all. So it's been very interesting. It definitely is quite different. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm in a different country, like everything looks very European. It's just super different than Ontario. What was a way you found to move all your books without damaging them? So I've gotten a lot of questions about this. Honestly, nothing special. I just put them in a box and that's really it. I think all of them made it. I don't know, some of them are still in boxes, so I will find out when we move the next time. But yeah, I just put them in boxes, nothing special, just a U-Haul small box, and they fit nicely. Like I would put 3 beside each other and then I would have some sideways like that. So I will film the process of packing my books when we move the next time. It was just everything was very chaotic the first time, so I wasn't really able to do that, but I will film that for you guys because I have gotten so many questions about it. But yeah, I just put them in a box. It really, nothing special. So those are all the questions that I'm actually going to answer today. There definitely are more that I could answer, but I am going to just leave it here. So I will do another one of these soon if you guys would like, but thank you guys so much for asking questions. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button and then click that bell icon so you'll be notified every time I post. I post new videos multiple times a week, and I think that was all that I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a new video soon. Bye!